Hey, this is Mr. Jarvis, and this is homework help for November 29th, and we're looking at our pre-assessment. We're using the pre-assessment as a study guide for the test rather than a pre-assessment. So we did number one, and I'm going to do the first page. This is going to be I'm taking a few problems on the first page. So first, we're going to look at number two. I think everyone got through number one. So write equivalent fractions with common denominators. That's really important, common denominators. We need common denominators here and add or subtract them. So we need to find the least common multiple between 2 and 3. I could probably do it in your head. You'd list them out: 3, 6, 2, 4, 6, etc. And I think it's probably in your head. Figure out, most of us, that the common denominator is 6. So we need to write 1/2 as something over 6, and we need to write 1/3 as something over 6. I think most of you did this in your head. What I multiply the 3 by to get 6, I multiplied it by 2. So if I multiply the denominator by 2, I also multiply the numerator by 2. 2/2 is equivalent to 1. So I'm not changing the value if I multiply something by 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So really this is, let me do the same for this. So what did I multiply the 2 by to get 3? 3. And 3/3 is equivalent to 1. If I multiply something by 1, I don't change its value. 1 times 3 is 3. So I rewrite these: 2, 6 plus 3, 6 is 5, 6. Okay. So got that one settled. Let's take a look at the next one. I have 3 and 4/15 and 2 and 1/3. So, like I said, we know that 5 times 3 is 15. So if one of the denominators is a factor of the other, we know we got our lowest common multiple, or least common denominator. And that would be 15 in this case. So I leave the 3 and 4/15 alone. So we have 3 and 4/15 plus, so I have to write 1/3, 2 and 1/3 with a denominator of 15. 1/3 equals something over 15. I multiplied the 3 by what to get 15? That would be a 5. So it means I also multiplied the numerator by 5. And I think we got this. This is pretty much review. So 5/15. So we end up with 5 and 9/15. Now, on our test, they haven't been asking you to simplify, but we can simplify 9/15. Is there a number that both 9 and 15 can be divided by? And as I think about it, they both can be divided by 3. So if I can take 9/15, I'm going to write my answer: 5. Divide 9 by 3, I would get 3. And divide 15 by 3, I'd get 5. So my final answer would be 5 3/5. Kind of simplifying. Let me write that out again. 9/15. If I divide by 1, I don't change the value either. 3/3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. And we've kind of done this in class. So 5 3/5. So let's move on. Take another one here. Okay, 1/3 of 27. So we're basically 1/3. So if I'm saying 1/3, I'm going to divide 27 into 3 equal groups. So I'm really just, if I divide 27 by 3, I would get 9. And that works with numbers that are simple to use. An algorithm to write it out, a strategy you can use if you're kind of having trouble, is think of meaning this many times, 1/3 time, which is going to give me something less than 27. 1/3 times 27. And the way to write 27 as a fraction is 27 ones. And then I can simplify before I multiply, and I can simplify any numerator with any denominator. Okay, so both 3 and 27 are divisible by 3. So I'm going to 3 divided by 3 is 1. 27 divided by 3 is 9. 1 times 9 is 9. 1. So A is 9. Okay, it's just another way to work it out. So if I had 60 and I wanted to divide it, I had 1/12, that's the same. I'm dividing it into groups of 12. How much would be, if I divided 60 into groups of 12, how much would 1/12 of it be? So, you know that 5 times 12 is 60. Hopefully we got that down. So I know the answer is 5, but a way to work it out if the numbers weren't kind of working for us is to say 1/12, just to lay it out, times 60. And I can write it like 60 divided by 1. And then I can simplify before I multiply. 12 and 60 are both divisible by 3. 12, they're both divisible by 3, yes, but they're also divisible by 12. So this is going to be 1, and this is going to be 5. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. 5 ones is equal to 5. Okay. Going kind of quickly. I think we're going to rock this test, by the way. So Mark drove 3/4 of 3/4 of a 36-kilometer trip before he stopped to get gas in his car. How many kilometers did Mark driven at that point? Show your work. Okay. So 3/4 of. So here's where, the numbers might be a little tougher. So I can say 3/4 of means 3/4 of means this many times. 3/4 of the time it's going to be less than 36. So I'm going to write 36 as a fraction. 3/4 times 36 ones. Now I can simplify before I multiply. 3/4 is in its simplest terms, so it's 36 ones, but I can cross any numerator with any denominator. 36 and 4 are both divisible by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 36 divided by 4 is 9. And then I could just multiply across. 3 times 9 is 27. 1 times 1 is 1, and that equals 27 kilometers. Now we have to ask ourselves, does that kind of make sense? 3/4 is pretty close to a whole. 3/4 of the trip. 27 is pretty close to 36. That's my strategy, kind of eyeball that and see, does it kind of make sense? And it does. 27 seems like it's about 3/4 of 36. So. All right, so let's move on to number 4 here. Find the missing number. We've done a bunch of these. So 1 and 5, 6 plus what is 2? So 6 is equal to 1. I need to make that 5 is 6. So it's going to be 1, 6 equals 2. So 5, 6 plus 1, 6 is 1 whole, and that would make 2 our 2 whole number. This one's a little different. The B is a little different. So we need to work with common denominators. So I need to think of what plus 5/8. Let me write a little neater here. For some reason so what plus 5/8 is equal to 3/4. But I'm going to write it 6/8. 3/4 is equal to 6/8. Multiply the 4 by 2, I get 8. Multiply the 3 by 2, I get 6. Okay, so what do I add 5/8 to get 6/8? Well, that was easy enough. 1/8. Just if I'm working with the common denominators, it's pretty easy. Okay, so this next one. So this one is this one is 1/8. So this next one here, I have 3 1/4 minus what would give me 1. So I got to take away 2 from the 3 and 1/4 from the 1/4. So that I just can do this in my head almost. I feel like you guys can too. So 3 and 1/4. So I need to get rid of the 2 whole numbers. Minus 2 and the 1/4. Minus 2 and 1/4 is equal to 1. Okay, we're pretty much rocking this. Okay, and we'll do the other pages. They'll get probably a little more complicated as we go. Hopefully that kind of helps out. If you want to work ahead, go ahead. Our test is Friday, December 1st. I'll do more problems tomorrow night.